American living in the Netherlands, one of the things that my wife and I often do is come back to the States. And one of the places we come to the most, because we have a lot of family here, is Detroit. And if I'm being real, every time I visit Detroit, it surprises me. Side note, I don't think that this was here the last time I was here. Focus, focus. I mean, something I'm always shocked by when I come and visit is just how clean it is here. I'm not even joking, especially in the downtown area. Unbelievably clean. And I really mean that. Like, you don't see cigarette butts all over the place. You don't see just trash randomly over with. I mean, you might see a couple things, like I see a bag over there because it looks like the wind blew it, but it's clean. I mean, like solidly clean. So look, in the video, just pay attention to where I'm walking. You can see the ground. Like, I'm not hiding nothing. You can see it. So pay attention and let me know what you think. Like, yeah, Detroit is very clean. Matter of fact, it's one of the cleanest cities I've actually been to. I'ma just be real. Now, the further you go out of downtown, then it starts getting a little dirty because, you know, then you have construction, you also have abandoned buildings and things like that. But for the most part, the downtown area in general is extremely clean. Versus when I go back to, like, let's just say Chicago or even Atlanta, like when I go down to the downtown areas or the midtown areas, it's not as clean as it could be. But Detroit, for some reason, I don't know what they are doing, but keep it up because it is extremely clean. Like, I'm telling you, a clean place makes a big difference. That might be the reason why it's so clean. They got four, like, look, just in this spot right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trash cans. Just on this one corner. So remember, we started the video right over here, right where We Love Detroit sign is. It's right there, right? Believe it or not, but this was not here a long time. Well, I'm trying to remember when I first came, but look, the bottom line is this is fairly new. It's been here, I mean, maybe 5 years now, maybe 4. But this right here makes a difference. You can even tell, like, this used to be a street right here and it would go all the way through here. And this was maybe like a parking lot or something. All I know is when I was here, this was not here. And now they completely transformed it to a whole outside seating area. And then to top it all off, they even got you with a little dog park. Just in case you roll with the dog. You got a little dog park over there. He can poop, he can pee, he can hang out. Also, look at that, and I like seeing this too, the no smoking sign. Man, I'm telling y'all, man. Yeah. Have a great day. And now look, this might be me, and let me know if I'm tripping. This might, cause look, I could be tripping. But when a place is clean, it's almost like it encourages you to keep it clean. So then you do your part, even without nobody telling you to. You just do your part of just throwing your trash away. And now something else that shocked me about Detroit is the infrastructure. Now look, coming from the Netherlands, yeah, it's not, I'ma be real, yeah, it's not even close. But man, I'm telling you, every year, every time we come back to Detroit, they up the sauce with the infrastructure. Like, even just with public transportation, for example. Now they got the Q line right here, which, to be honest, this was not a thing. Like, that's also fairly new. They've always had the people mover thing that it's like a train that's in the sky. They've had that and it's very limited. I've taken it a few times and it was cheap too. I think it was like $1. But this is new. Like, this whole like little tram line right here called the Q line, that is new. As a matter of fact, it may be, I would say it might be like maybe 3 or 4 years old as well. And that's something that I could really appreciate, man, because it really does encourage just public transportation and getting out and not being in cars all day. And now it's not perfect, as well as the bus system is not perfect either, but it's getting there. That's my point. My point is every year it's getting better and better. And speaking of infrastructure, minus public transportation, take the public transportation out of the picture and look at what they're building and how they're building. Because you see, unlike a lot of places in the States, they're actually trying to build more walkable or walkable like areas, or as well as just, hey, like being outside. Like really trying to encourage people to be outside by building these little outside areas and these walking zones. Like even with this thing right here, this thing is not super new, but I feel like that was the start of the whole, okay, let's get people walking more, or let's get people outside more. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go over there, but let me hurry across the street. I don't wanna get hit by no car. Or get a jaywalking ticket. Yeah, I remember when this whole little area right here was first built, as well as this walking area right here. I remember when it was under construction, and then the year after I saw it, and yeah, it's just getting better and better. They then started adding plants and trees. They also started adding like benches and things just to make it a little bit nicer and a little bit like just friendly to be here, like just to get people in and just walk. And obviously, since it is the holidays, they also got a bunch of Christmas decorations lined up here, over there. You got that box, that present right there, and then you got this Kwanzaa thing right here. And yeah, you can even see people starting to come out. Like it's nice, especially with the sun coming out. You're seeing more and more people starting to come out, and they got the ice skating rink right over here, so people are ice skating. And yeah, man, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, man, it's nice to see. And now this winter market thing is something I have not seen before. I'm gonna be real. The whole Cadillac Square, that looks cool, man. I mean, I've been here, but when I came here last time, there was a bunch of food trucks like right on this thing. So this must be just for Christmas. It has a bunch of shops, so it reminds me of kind of like it's almost like a Christmas market, but like, yeah, indoor, which I'm gonna be real, it would be nice if it was kind of outdoor, but Detroit be getting some crazy weather, so I'm gonna be real, it's probably best to have the stores inside. Now, for those of y'all who don't understand what I mean by extreme weather, literally, I would say maybe 4 days ago, I woke up and it was like 4 degrees. 4 degrees. I don't think it's ever been that cold in the Netherlands since I've been living in the Netherlands. 4 degrees. Yeah, good. And then today I woke up and it is, look, it is like 54 degrees. 56 degrees. It's nice that certain cities are like building these infrastructures to be more walkable and more accessible to people who just can be in the area, whether it's like building the queue line for a tram to get people from one end to the other, or outside outdoor spaces. These things are very, very important. And now look, man, I know I talk a lot about how important it is to be outside, but I really want to drive that home because it really is, it's really important for people. Like, you get out and you get to know your local people and you get to see people, be around people. So being out and about versus just always being inside the house or always eating indoors or always taking things to go, it doesn't, I feel like, especially America's a really good example of this, but it seems like it causes more problems than convenience, in a sense of now you have people who are just scared of each other, everyone's divided, and the best way to bring people together is for you to know people, be around people. And one of the things I've learned since living in the Netherlands, what I've noticed is when it's empty outside, it does not feel safe. Oh man, I love that tram, man. Similar to Atlanta, what I've noticed is I think Detroit is starting downtown and kind of expanding outward. And that makes a lot of sense to me because it's probably the easiest place to start. Woohoo, starting to get windy. Oh, snap. That wind picking up. Man, I hope the wind didn't mess up my shop. And then I would have to say the last thing that surprises me, and always surprises me, is the people and how safe it is. Now, I just mentioned this, that people being out more makes it a lot safer, but Detroit gets kind of a bad rep, kind of like Chicago does. Well, because I didn't even realize I was standing next to this Detroit Lions truck. But yeah, man, I do think that Detroit isn't as dangerous as a lot of people make it out to be. It is actually it's pretty safe. Every time, like I'm telling you, I've been coming here for the past 10 years or so, and yeah, it's not that bad. I'm just being real. I know there are some areas I'm not saying is the safest place, but what I am saying is people are genuinely nice, and it's not as dangerous as people make it out to be. And with everything going on, it's only getting better and better and safer and safer. You can tell a lot of people here work really hard. I mean, Detroit has that history of being Motor City, so people do work extremely hard, and they're just good people. And I'm being dead serious. Like, people here are just really nice. And now this little statue right behind me is actually the spirit of Detroit. Now look, I don't know where it come from. I'm not from Detroit. I didn't do any Googling, but there's a sign right there that tells you all about it. Oh yeah, I know. It's all on the negative. Yeah, it's weird that Detroit kind of gets that muffin right there, look. Man, I wish there was some outside seating. Okay. But since I can't really film that much in here because of the noise, I'm gonna finish up my cappuccino, and then we're gonna get into some of the cons of Detroit. And then my first con about Detroit, and this is not just a Detroit thing, but it is a Michigan thing, and that would have to be the water. Holy cow, man, the water. Wow, cause man, not for nothing, the water here is just like, it smells like chlorine for real. Like, it's almost like you could like smell it, taste it, and it's strange. It's just not as fresh as you would think it. Like, that is something that, again, like I talked about it when I was in Florida. It's the same thing there, except for I think Florida water is maybe worse. It's hard to gauge because Florida water doesn't smell like chlorine, but it tastes a bit funny, versus here, it smells and it tastes like chlorine. So you legit have to buy filters, or you gotta get bottled water, and that's something that, honestly, this is kind of an American problem, because it's almost everywhere you gotta get some kind of extra water source to like either filter out the water, bottles of water, something. But I feel like that shouldn't be an issue, but it is, and dang, it really hurts, man. I'm telling you, that water smells so bad. The chlorine is just so strong. And that is something that I talk about often in my videos when I'm in the Netherlands, is just how good the water is. Like, man, I'm telling you, the Dutch don't understand, man. Like, it's like, the water is just so good. And same when you go to France, the water is good. Austria is amazing. But in general, you're having really good water, and you can drink from the tap. Here, you cannot drink from the tap. Like, I'm telling you, it is so strong, and it's so heavy with that chlorine. Like, you smell it when you wash your hands. You smell it when you're brushing your teeth. You smell it when you just turn on the water. That's how crazy it is. Like, I'm like blown away about why it's like that and how that's okay. So yeah, I am gonna have to go ahead and call it out. Like, the lack of fresh water is a huge con in Michigan. I'm telling you, I'm not just talking about Detroit. It is like, I've been so many cities in Detroit or Michigan, and the water's the same. Like, it's the same. You gotta buy fresh water or filter. You have to. And then my next con has to do with the infrastructure, which was a pro. I mean, it's a huge pro because they're coming a long way, but they're still lacking in certain areas. Like, perfect example is there aren't really bike lanes here, but I've seen a bunch of people biking, and it's very sketchy. I mean, it's sketchier than in Florida. It's not like people don't want to bike. Like, there's just, yeah, the infrastructure's just not there. Why not like invest in, like, you know, bike lanes and bike zones and stuff like that? Why not do that when that's actually, to me, if you live in Detroit, you can get around on a bike. Like, you can, especially an electric one. Come on, you could do it, and you could do it easy. Now, I'm not saying when it's like 4 degrees outside and freezing. Nah, I ain't doing that. It is doable for the most part. That way, it'll cut back on the driving, cut back even on people on public transportation. Like, I see people running and jogging and biking. Like, I've seen so many, and yet there's no, the infrastructure is not for bikes. So what you're seeing, since there is no infrastructure for bikes, what you're seeing is people using a combination of the sidewalk and the street. So they will go to the sidewalk when it's semi, like when they're trying to cross the street, press the button, stay on the sidewalk, go all the way across the street, and then look, and then get into the street if it's safe enough. Okay, quick side note though, I walked across the street, and so downtown is just we're still downtown, it's all over there, right, with the buildings and stuff. But if you come over here to the river, then you can see Canada right there. Come on, tell me that ain't gangster. But yeah, you just have a nice view. That's all Canada right there. All of that. Canada's way over there. And now, unfortunately, it looks like they're doing a bunch of construction right here. This actually wasn't here the last time I was here. So yeah, they're tearing all this down and redoing it. But it looks like, because I was just wondering how to get down there, but it looks like you can get down just going this way and get near the water a bit. So if you look straight down there, past this, I think this is a, what is this called again? But yeah, anyway, yeah, they past that boat, you can see the bridge over there, right there to Canada. Oh, side note too, look at them clouds. Holy cow, look at them clouds. Dang, rolling in deep. And then my last con would have to be that sometimes it's kind of hard to find fresh fruit. I mean, with all these convenience stores and all this other stuff, it's really hard to find like bananas or cucumbers or anything like that. Anything fresh, like fruit or veggies, it's really hard to find. Which is a bit weird considering they have so many convenience stores and yet you cannot find, like you go in and try to look for a cucumber, you ain't finding a cucumber. You will be lucky if you can find a banana. And yeah, I know it's a bit silly, but this is something I've gotten used to living in the Netherlands, is being able to just get fresh fruits and veggies in almost any convenience store, whether it's bananas, apples, grapes, blueberries. You can find some kind of fresh fruit. And a lot of times you can also find cucumbers. Now, well, I mean veggies, not cucumbers, but just veggies in general, like tomatoes or cucumbers. You can also find those things too. But here, I noticed you gotta like hunt for it almost, especially if you don't have a grocery store nearby. Now, there are a couple of grocery stores near here, just in the downtown area, but there's more convenience stores here than grocery stores. Like the convenience stores are a little bit more, those are more convenient. I mean, convenience stores, but yeah, they're more easily accessible. And yet you can't get like fresh fruit. I mean, they'll try to put like I've gone to a few places already. I've had a place literally try to give me fruit snacks because it says fresh fruit on it. And I was like, this is candy. But people will try to get me to buy fruit snacks when I ask for fresh fruit.
All I need is you, baby.
7-Eleven for the win. And I took 5 stores, but yeah, we found a banana. There was nothing else fresh in there. Now, apples, oranges, but they did have a banana. But it's also hard to find fresh fruit in Chicago, which is so weird. Like in America, where everything is like, you can get it at any time of day, super convenient, not like the Netherlands at all, where, you know, places close early, they might not be open on Mondays, whatever. In a country that is like proud of like being so convenient and having access to anything you want, any time of day if you want, finding fresh fruit and veggies outside of a grocery store is really, really hard. Okay, now I don't know if you guys see this, but that is General Motors. That's the General Motors headquarters, and it is by far one of my favorite buildings. It is a gorgeous building. And also too, it like lights up and it changes colors at night. Like it lights up pink, purple, blue, and just a really, really pretty building. Side note, dang, Popo rolling deep over here. Gee.
All I need is you, baby.
And now look, if you have never been to downtown Detroit or Detroit area in general, you gotta come visit. It is definitely one of my favorite cities. It's a bit quiet, and like a lot of American cities, it does have a lot to work on, but I think it could get there. I think.